when housing agencies and complexes use vouchers to stabilize, help stabilize veterans, to stabilize them housing wise as well as financially. They get a lot of attention, and this is easy money for them, and and a complex that takes a lot of them has a lot of HAP contracts. It's good for business, but um, when complexes try to alienate agencies, agencies that for the most part, I would testify to Congress that the case management that I've seen is one extreme. It's like we could call it um, uh, borderline personality disorder case management, only black or white. The black is absolutely no color in the room. There's nothing there. It's a dark room. There's no case management at all. Nothing. You'll be ignored. The opposite is there's so many people in the room that you're blinded by the light. That's the white side. That's the case management I've seen. So many people in the room that it's hard to breathe, hard to get anything done. People are stepping on each other's toes, but the veteran is always basically told to shut up. You get very little input, but they will dump everything on you. Uh, and in the case when you're targeted, instead of investigating anything, they'll retaliate against you and they'll say, "Oh, it's your mental health." They won't investigate anything. Even their own caseworkers that have targeted you, CPS, um, targeting you financially, so that you had to drop out of grad school because you went bust, you went broke, and then your credit dropped, your credit score dropped, so you could no longer get loans, so you had to drop out of grad school. They won't accept responsibility for that. You know, at some point, somebody has to do something for veterans that are being targeted besides what they do for people that go for the Human Trafficking Task Force, new identity, relocation expenses, everything. Or for some people that get out of jail. Not everybody, but some people, when they get out, they get a new identity. They move to a new place. They're helped to get on their feet. I mean, of course, not as much as anybody else, but still. But for veterans, nothing. Nothing at all. People say, "Oh, pull up your bootstraps." When your bootstraps are being cut, it's useless to pull them up because you're going to pull them up and there's going to be nothing there except air, which is exactly the situation that I have been put in. But I'm not the only vet, but it seems that all the vets that I've talked to, our situation is definitely the worst. We're the most targeted. It's like we're being made an example of by somebody. Now, I know some of these groups involved and even some of these families, and they're being protected. I know some of the agencies that have people that are friends that work at the agencies to target my family. They're protected. All the while, thousands and thousands of dollars are spent. And for what? We're in the same exact situation we were 8 years ago. Nothing's changed. I busted my butt, got my credit score up to almost 700, and then we were kicked out because our apartment was rented under us. But it was targeting. It was a lie. They just wanted to get us out of there because apparently a whole group of racial extremists, they wanted the whole building, and they got it. But we were targeted, and then the caseworker knew exactly. Oh well, he's in school. Yeah, he's getting scholarships and grants and loans and all of this, and he uses that to live off of, plus his savings, plus whatever part-time work. We're gonna have him spend it all and use all the credit lines. We're gonna bankrupt him, and they did. Did the VA do anything about it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And we've had another employee lie and tell housing agency that she's helping us find a place. When I talked to the housing agency, I had a very different picture from what I discussed with this person. And I was under the impression that between what I and the housing agency talked about and I talked about with her, we were on the same picture, or the same page. I painted a picture of what I would need help with because of our targeting, messing with our internet, taking us offline, spoofing, apartment websites, all kinds of stuff in 8 years, all kinds of stuff. The worst being where we are now. Come to find out, she's on vacation. It was all a lie, all of it. Does anything happen? Nope, nothing happens. So I don't know what I'll have to do. Get aggressive, make a scene, um, protest, something, because I'm tired of what's happened to my family and nobody does anything about it. And all the while, taxpayer money is being spent more and more and more and more. And we spend more money, more and more and more and more. We're spending $75 a month out of our pocket when we live on welfare because people keep targeting us. Can't start any one of my 3 businesses. 2 of them are already on paper because we keep getting targeted. And I'm told, oh yeah, just go work at a dollar store. Yeah, somebody with joint problems in 6 joints is going to go stock shelves or stand at a kiosk. Yeah, sure. And like Walmart's going to hire me to be a greeter when I have 3 advanced degrees. Yeah. Oh well, you're so smart. Find something. Yeah. In a town with 2 colleges, well, significantly 2 colleges, we'll say, that are significantly represented. Both of them, they only hire from their own little, we'll call it the old boys, old girls network. If you're going to work at Delta College or SVSU, you already know somebody who knows somebody. They don't hire new people. I've already applied to both schools in 8 years with my credentials. And my credentials, I like to be a humble person, so I don't brag. But my credentials, over probably half of their professors, my credentials are better because I'm a man, I'm a conservative. Well, I'm not a conservative, I'm a moderate. I don't fit in religiously. And to some people, I don't fit in ethnically either. I don't need to talk about my ethnic background. That's just part of it. Then you can't forget the friendly little hackers and all of these troublemakers that like to target veterans. This is not a veteran friendly town, and nobody does anything about it. People will just tell you, oh, praying for you. Oh, yeah, blessings to you. Oh, good luck. That's it. Nobody does anything. It just continues. And I'm the kind of person, I don't like to waste government money. Give it to somebody that needs it, and help them get on their feet. Or if they're disabled, help them transition to figuring out how to survive on disability and maybe helping them get a little business on the side so they can have some kind of small business. I don't like living off welfare. All the hundreds of hours I've spent writing and researching and critiquing and debating to live off welfare? To specifically live off the generosity of others? You know, it's different if you're like a ordained ministry or if you're running a nonprofit. But then again, even nonprofits give people a salary. Even a CEO, you're not going to just take money out of there. That's called embezzlement. So the question remains: why has this happened to veterans like me and to my family? Again, I'll post it every day. And perhaps it's time to get a little public and a little more aggressive. Because the targeting that complexes have let happen, and yes, I hold them directly responsible, especially the one that we are in now. I hold them directly responsible. The repeated gaslighting, even their employees. The employee that broadcast our meeting on her Facebook Live, she should have been put in prison for HIPAA and Privacy Act violations. All they did is move her to another property. And maybe, possibly, some of my subscribers, they know her. We'll say that. They know her. She should be in prison. And all of the targeting of my family, all the theft, all the financial loss, I don't care if it's, they say, landlords in Michigan say, we're not responsible for what happens on our property. Oh, crap. I think you are. And I think it's time that normal, middle class, and working class families just like me, it's time that we demand it. You are responsible. You own the property. If you fell inside a federal courthouse, Mr. John or Mr. Jane Smith, property manager or CEO, you fall in the federal courthouse, who's going to pay your hospital bill? I'll tell you who. Us, the taxpayer, because you'll hold us responsible. Well, we hold you responsible too.